How long did it take your eye to heal up?
So, newsflash, that was never real.
What?
That was fake. Yes. So I had the match with the Young Bucks. All right. And all of you that are watching now, you're going to feel this. So I had the match with the Young Bucks where SCU split up. I got super kicked into the post. And the next day I had this huge black eye, and I can give you guys pictures to show later down the line. Had this huge black eye, and it started to fill with blood. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And then like 3 days later it healed, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then I thought, what if I did? So at the time, Abaddon was working for us, and she wears these contacts. And I said, do you have a guy that does these contacts? Because I want to do this thing. She's like, yeah. She put me in touch with this guy. And I was like, listen, this is what I want. I just want to make it look like a hemorrhage. And that was a storyline that not a storyline. I had pitched this idea of like, I had lost everything. I made this video that I presented to the AEW, and Tony. And I was like, hey, here's the story. I was the ring general, but my plans failed. And because of that, SCU is no longer a thing. And now I have this scar to show for my failure. But I'm going to come back, and all I have left is my career and my fighting. And so I sent this in. And like at the end of that match, I even said to Matt and Nick and Frankie, I was like, this might be my last match. I could retire from this. And if I retire because of this, cool. And so I didn't wrestle for like 3 or 4 months. And then I came up with this idea, gave it to Tony. And then I started doing a little bit of the indies. And I thought, okay, well, this will get me back on television. But like, we never really capitalized on that. And then I came back like 6 months later to do the match with Brian when AEW bought Ring of Honor. That was my first match back from whenever I made the match with the Bucks. So that was the mentality of like, let's do this thing. And so I kept it for a long time. And then like later down the line, I was like, oh, we're not really concentrating on this. This isn't really a thing anymore. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's time for the eye to heal. And so like I wore it for like a year and a half, and I wore it everywhere. Everywhere. Like the first time I debuted it out in the public, I went to the Heels premiere, and I met Stephen Amell, and he's like, oh my God, your eye. And I was like, yeah, man, it's okay. And then the next time he saw me was at, we were at Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe, and he comes up to me and goes, hey, your eye's healed. And I was like, hey, that was fake. And he was like, you son of a bitch. I was like, listen, we just watched a television show about kayfabe, man. So what did you want? What did you want, Stephen? Come on.
I remember you posing on the red carpet.
Yep.
At that premiere.
Yep.
With the eye.
I remember we did, the last interview we did was online. Yes. And you're talking to me about it. I'm like, I'm lying to you right now. Well,
you didn't say that.
Of course. Well, no.
Yeah.
I remember I wore it like when the longest I had to wear it, we were on the Jericho cruise one year. And every time I was in front of the fans, I had that eye in. So like I'm wearing this huge contact lens. Like it's not a regular size contact lens because it covers the white of your eye. So it's pretty large, and it's,
Could you see through it?
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly fine.
100%.
Because that was the story you kept telling everybody.
Yep.
That with the hemorrhage, I could see fine, no problem. And I'm like, maybe you should get this checked out. And you're
the
like,
funny thing is,
I did.
I one time I was at a signing, and this lady comes up and she goes, oh, how's your eye? And I go, well, it's still like this. I don't know. And she was like, oh, well, that's weird. I'm a doctor. And I went, yep, cool. And she's like, yeah, that's not really typical. And I go, no, ma'am, it's not. So sorry, doctor. I didn't mean to lie to you either, but.
Wow. Well, you
commitment to a gig, everyone. Commitment to a gig is important.
You got us all.
Thank you.